morning, good afternoon and good evening everyone. My name is Liam and welcome to PPL Division 2 Week 5, I believe? Week 5? Week 5, this is Week 5. Welcome to PPL Division 2 Week 5. Yes, it's Week 5. I was just doing the mental maths. My name's Liam, as I said, coach of your West Shan United team. And to get things started, last week went pretty good. We beat Rye, which was a pretty good win. We played fairly, we won, so that doesn't matter. And we got a 4-0 victory, which is nice. And this week is going to be quite difficult. Not only from a battling perspective, but from a mental perspective too. Because this week we are battling Ashton Akai and the AS Rowlet. Now, before I go over his team, you can see it on the screen, but before I go over his team, real quick, little back history about why this is mentally a bit more difficult for me. Also, if my webcam is lagging today, I don't know why. I just can't seem to get it to work, and I didn't want to take it off because I just put it on last week. But when I first started doing my draft league stuff, Eric kind of taught me how to do it, more or less. Like, when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just building regular teams. I wasn't doing any particular EVs or anything. I was just bringing standard Pokemon, like no extra moves for coverage or anything like that. And Eric kind of gave me a lot of help to start off with. Like, he gave me a lot of advice, went over pretty much all of my teams for like 2 seasons, and pretty much helped me, was a big part of helping me get to the point where now I feel quite comfortable, like very comfortable with my abilities and skills and overall in Pokemon League format now. So it's going to be and this is the first time I'm ever playing him, so it's going to be difficult for me. Number one, because I've never played him before, and I hold him in such high regard just because he taught me. And number two, because he has a really good team, which we will go over now. He has a Mew, which is his anything Zmon user. He has a Zygarde 10%, that's the Dogo form, which is a Z user as well. He has Thundurus Incarnate, Mega Gyarados, Infernape, which is a Z user, Kamala, Ferrothorn, and Granbull. So he has one of the smaller teams in the draft league. I think he has the smallest team in D2 in terms of available members. But he does have well over half of it. He has well over half his team who's above 10 million. So he has very good Pokemon in there, especially Mew, which is just like, I don't want to fight Mew, because last time I had to fight a Mew, it pretty much 6-0'd me. But we did not come here to not battle, we came here to battle, so let's go over my team that is going to battle Mr. Eric, as it comes up on the screen right now. So, first and foremost, we have pretty much the captain of the team. I'd say Weavile's the captain of the team at this point. Weavile's been to every single game, so Weavile's probably captain of the team. Weavile with 28 HP investment, 252 attack, 44 defense, 4 special defense, and 180 speed. Jolly natured with Ice Shard, Poison Jab, Knockoff, and Low Kick. Weavile's speed is enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Zygarde 10%, pretty much. Not much else about it. Ice Shard, there for the Zygarde, there for Thundurus. Does neutral damage to Ferrothorn, although it probably won't do too much. Knockoff, there for the Mew, in case I can see if he has a Z Crystal, and if he doesn't have a Z Crystal, Knockoff's going to do a lot. Plus, it's just going to do a lot anyway, it's Knockoff. Poison Jab is there for the Granbull switches-ins, and the Low Kick is there for the Kamala or Ferrothorn or even the Mega Gyarados. It does quite a lot to Mega Gyarados, he's quite a heavy boy. Mega Gyarados is a big boy, he ate all of his dinner, he is a big boy. And he gets dessert after as well. Has the Expert Belt, just so I can change up moves, and if I could do a Low Kick onto Mega Gyarados and then he thinks I'm banded or something, or if I can do like a Poison Jab to Granbull and he thinks I'm banded and then he goes into Ferrothorn, and then maybe I can catch it with a Low Kick to finish it off. That was the thought process behind that one. Next up we have Starmie, we have Gemini, who has Scald, Ice Beam, Signal Beam, and Rapid Spin with the Analytic ability and the Bugnium Z this week. She has 4 HP, 252 attack, and 252 speed. She is timid, with 0 IVs in attack. She has enough speed to max speed. She has enough speed to speed tie with Zygarde 10% if it's Jolly. No more Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump was gone. Hydro Pump was originally on this team, but after our week 3 game, Hydro Pump doesn't come on Starmie anymore. I originally had Psychic on that position as well, but Scald just kind of hit more people on his team and the things that resist Scald, it'd be nicer to get a burn on them than a Spadef drop, really. Ice Beam is there, obviously, for the Thunderous, and it is going to hit Zygarde as well. Signal Beam is there so I can use Bugnium Z on the Mew, and Rapid Spin is there so I can get away some hazards away from Theroform. Bugnium Z is my prime way to take out Mew, so when I can go for it, I'm going to go for it. Best believe I'm going to go for it. My hope is that he switches in Mew to take a hit, like I hope he switches in Mew to take a Scald, and then I can go for the Bugnium Z, because Scald Analytic will do quite a bit, even if he's Spadef invested, and that should be enough where Bugnium Z Signal Beam can finish him off, pretty much. Unless he's like Assault Vest Max Spadef. Next up we have BBW Seismitoad with Earthquake, Ice Punch, Knockoff, Stealth Rock, Poison Touch, and the Rindo Berry with 252 HP, 252 Special Defense, and 4 Defense. BBW is our specially defensive wall today. She has Poison Touch over the Water Absorb because he has a Mega Gyarados and it has Mold Breaker, so we wouldn't have Water Absorb anyway. Poison Touch is just better because I'm not getting Water Absorb basically, so Poison Touch is just better this week. Rocks is quite nice because he has to bring in Gyarados before he can Mega Evolve it, hopefully. So that's going to do 25%, and then that's going to put it within range of a Pokemon later on, which I won't mention. I won't mention it yet, don't want to spoilers. Rocks is also good for Thunderous, and it's there for breaking a potential Sash on Infernape, because Infernapes do like Sash. Knockoff, because Knockoff's just a good move. Ice Punch is there for the obvious coverage on the Thunderous and the Zygarde, and Earthquake is there to hit everything else. I didn't really need a Water move this week, it wasn't very much needed. Earthquake just kind of done more, and I prefer the coverage. And it's got the Rindo Berry as well for any sort of grass coverage he might have, so Energy Ball Mew, Grass Not Thunderous, Grass Not Infernape, Infernape even, Power Whip, Ferrothorn, blah 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 blah. Next up we have Blair, the Gorgeist. I don't bring Blair enough, she's lovely, she's a good pumpkin Blair. Blair comes today with 252 HP, 252 defense, and 4 special defense with a relaxed nature, 0 IVs in attack. She is the super form and she has Bullet Seed, Will-O-Wisp, Flamethrower, and Synthesis. Frisk and Colbur Berry. Frisk is a great ability for League format, so I can see items. Colbur Berry is there to take a Crunch from Gyarados, and I can potentially burn it or knock it out with a Bullet Seed if it's at low enough health. Bullet Seed does more damage than you'd bloody expect it, let me tell you that. Flamethrower is there for Ferrothorn. I assume he's going to bring in Ferrothorn on Gorgeist and then think we can't touch him. Right, so I can hit him with a big Flamethrower and then potentially burn his Ockerberry, which would be nice if I could take the Ockerberry off with Gorgeist rather than something else later on. That'd be good. Synthesis is there because I can Synthesis up on the Ferrothorn anytime it's in, and like I said, Bullet Seed is there for damage on Mega Gyarados, and it's good for if he has Substitute Mega Gyarados even. So that's pretty good there. It does get. I do have a bit of problem with Infernape with this set, but it was either have a problem with Infernape or have less options to deal with Mega Gyarados. That Mega Gyarados was a huge problem to my team. So if Infernape comes in on this, I really can't do anything to it. Apart from, like, maybe hit it with a Bullet Seed, but it's not going to do too much. I can maybe Synthesis up, maybe. I don't know if he's banded and he's banded into close combat or something. I don't know. But, yeah, that's just the Blair. That is the Blair. Next up we have Horang, our Hitmonlee, aka Hacha! Hacha-cha-cha! With the Mark Punch, Close Combat, Poison Jab, and Knockoff. With the Limber ability today and Choice Scarf. He has 36 EVs in HP, 252 attack, 4 defense, 4 special defense, and 212 speed. Enough speed to outspeed a positive natured Mega Gyarados. Enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Gyarados. And with the Choice Scarf, it's enough to outspeed Jolly Gyarados if he's +1 speed from a Dragon Dance. Very bloody important, because Dragon Dance Mega Gyarados was what I thought was a fairly obvious bring against my team. I am Limber on my Hitmonlee, so he cannot prankster T-Wave me with Thunderous Incarnate. Close Combat is there for the Mega Gyarados, obviously. Close Combat also hits Kamala, also hits Ferrothorn. It's going to still do pretty decent damage to Granbull. It's going to do good damage to pretty much everything on his team, apart from maybe Mew. Poison Jab is there to hit Granboo super effectively, and Knockoff is there to hit Mew. I called him Granboo. And Knockoff is there for Mew and just to knock things off. Fairly standard Hitmonlee today, apart from the Limber. And then we have Tommy, our Salamence, our Dragon Zord, who has Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Hidden Power Flying, Roost with the Intimidate and the Choice Scarf, 4 HP, 4 Defense, 252 Special Attack, 36 Special Defense, and 212 Speed with a Modest Nature. Enough, same thing as Hitmonlee to outspeed a Jolly Gyarados at +1. Salamence was just kind of a bring for drop Dracos, and then drop Dracos if Granbull goes down. Salamence was also a good way to take out the Ferrothorn with the Fire Blast. I didn't want to bring Heatran this week, just because he had the Infernape and he had the Zygarde. I just didn't really, and I thought maybe Mew as well would have some form of coverage for the Heatran, so I didn't want to bring Heatran this week, and so I needed the special Salamence just benefited more this week, I feel like. Plus I got to run Modest Nature, which is good. Modest Nature is very nice. And the Hidden Power Flying, just for cheeky stuff, so I can keep him guessing as to what Hidden Power I am. And obviously I don't need Moxie if I'm modest. So that's the team that is going to take on Mr. Eric, Mr. Ashton Akai, Mr. Senpai Akai. So hopefully we can come out with a W. But I'm going to stop talking about the team, and I'm going to hand it over to Battle Liam. So over to you, Battle Liam! Thank you, Team Builder Liam. I hope you guys all got your knowledge out of the Team Builder. It's Battle Liam here now, pretty much, for the rest of the video. So, as you can see, he brought the Granbull, the Mew, the Infernape, the Zygarde Dog, the Gyarados, and the Ferrothorn. I didn't mention this during the Team Builder as to what Pokemon I thought he was going to bring, because he only had 8 Pokemon, so he could have brought any of them. Like, I just prepped for all of them, because literally all of them had reasons to come for the team. The least likely one to come was Kamala. Literally everything else had a good reason to come against me, so I didn't really predict his team as much as I just prepped for the whole damn draft. So right off the bat, Granbull is going to be a problem, because it's just a problem for the team. I don't have offensive poison on my team, and because I didn't bring the Heatran, I don't have the Steel type to hit it either. So Granbull is going to be a problem, as I knew it would be. If I did bring the Heatran, then it was going to be answered by Gyarados, Zygarde, and Infernape, so half of his team. Mew, worried about, obviously, because it's a Mew. But I do decide to just start off with Salamence, because I thought the chances of him starting off with Granbull was very unlikely. So I could just go for Draco turn 1. I know I was Choice Scarfed, but I don't think he'd expect me to go for like Outrage or Dragon Claw turn 1 or something like that. So I was just going to go for Draco turn 1, expecting maybe the Ferrothorn to come out to start first, or the Infernape to start off with a U-turn. Or even the Mew to start off with setting up hazards, because I do have the Salamence and the Weavile on my team. So that was my personal thing there. But let's just go straight into the battle and see what actually did happen. These black screens, always the longest. So we do have Mr. Eric, Pokemon Trainer Eric, challenging us to a battle. Was a little bit spooked to see that. He does start off with the Granbull, which is the worst possible start for us. Literally the worst possible start, as I do start off with the Salamence. I pretty much have to switch here. There's no reason I can't switch here. I do intimidate him as he intimidates me back. That doesn't matter for me because I'm special, but intimidate against him does kind of matter because I assume the Granbull is physical. I am going to switch out, like I said, and I'm just going to go out into Blair here, predicting a player off. I can take it. He's -1, and I'm special, and I'm physically bulky. I do go for the Frisk, and I see he is Lychee Berry, and he goes for the player off, and he misses turn 1. So a lot of things happen in that first turn, particularly me finding out he was Lychee Berry. So there's no reason to run Lychee Berry on Granbull. Just put it that way. There's no reason for him to run Lychee Berry on Granbull, not unless he was. I think it's Quick Feet, where if you got a status condition, it gives you double speed or +1 speed. There was no reason for him to run Lychee Berry on Granbull, except if he was Natural Gift. So I actually checked this during the match, and Natural Gift gives you a physical attack based on what berry you are holding and consumes the berry. Natural Gift Lychee Berry is a grass type move, so I know he has grass coverage for my Seismitoad now, which is very good information. Him missing the play rough was unfortunate, but it wouldn't have done too much anyway. He was -1, and I am very physically bulky, extremely physically bulky. He is going to withdraw here, as I do go for the Will-O-Wisp. I wasn't sure if he was going to stay in and try and T-Wave me or whatever. Will-O-Wisp just felt like the good play. He does go into Infernape, which was good for him. And as I said during Team Builder, Blair really can't take on this Infernape in any way, especially while it's at full. So I do just go out into my specially defensive wall, misses BBW here, as he goes for the Fire Blast. So he is a special Infernape, which is pretty good for Seismitoad. Pretty good because she is specially defensive. I do take the Fire Blast like a champion, and he goes for the Phytium Z move here, which is the Z Focus Blast. So he's not going to miss. Z Focus Blast is going to do a lot of damage. That is a big hit from an Infernape. I can't remember if he was modest or timid. I think he was timid, but it's still going to do a lot of damage. Infernape starts throwing out the hands, catches hands, BBW, and goes for the, I don't know, kick. But BBW takes it! She takes a Z Focus Blast! And I do manage to get up the rocks. Now, on that turn, I'm going to pause again, as the pointed stones float in the air. On that turn, it was, I thought he was going to go for Grass Knot, which I knew I could live, which is why I went for the rocks, because I wanted the rocks up, like I said, I wanted the rocks up so his Infernape couldn't U-turn around. At this point I thought he might have still had U-turn, and the rocks were good for hitting the Gyarados, and I just like having rocks up on his side of the field, just to slowly chunk stuff down, so that Hitmonlee might be able to sweep later on. I was also going to click Earthquake just to kill this Infernape, which I should have done, because that's normally my playstyle. Normally I'm just kill what's in front of me, and I really should have just clicked Earthquake on this Infernape, and I really wish I did just take out this Infernape straight away. Because this Seismitoad was the answer to Infernape. He does click the Focus Blast, which was a really risky play on his part, because I did click Earthquake on that turn, as it does land and take out BBW, so all she does is get up rocks. That was very risky of him to click Focus Blast there. He could have switched out into Mew, he could have switched out into Ferrothorn, and there's nothing I could have done. Instead, he just decided to try and kill Seismitoad with Focus Blast. So I don't agree with that play, because if he missed, he would have lost Infernape, but it worked out for him. I do just go out into my Starmie here, because I do threaten him out, I outspeed him. He has to switch out here, he has no choice, so I'm going to get an Analytic Boosted Scald on something. He brings in Gacket, which is the Mew, and this is the scenario that we played off in our head. He takes the rocks damage, he takes the Analytic Boosted Scald, and this is it. I said I wanted him to take an Analytic Boosted Scald before I clicked my Bug Z move. I got the burn as well, which was pretty good. Saved me being T-waved by something, or having to be toxic by something. Burn is probably the best status condition to have onto Starmie, especially with the burn nerf this season. He takes burn damage, puts him just above 50%. I have to click my Bug Z move here. I do click it, and he stays in. So we are 3 or 4 turns into the battle. I don't know, I haven't been counting. I suppose you have, because you're all very clever. You're all the brightest bulbs in the shed. But we are 3 or 4 turns into the battle, and we've both used our Z moves effectively, pretty much. I do click my Savage Spin out. Gonna wrap up that Mew in my Suspicious Webs and throw it away in the Cocoon as Starmie goes all ninja and chokes out the Mew with the Z move. Oh, I love it when my Z moves take out what they're supposed to. I love it when my Z moves take out what I bring it for. It's one of the best feelings. So down goes the Mew, big problem for us out the way. And I assume it had Defog to get rid of rocks, and now rocks are here for good. He does bring in the Ferrothorn here. I have to switch out because I don't want to take a Power Whip, and this Starmie is still very, very useful. I do just go out into my Gourgeist because I pretty much wall this Ferrothorn back and forward. I do go for I get the Frisk and see his Choppleberry, so there's no point. So Hitmonlee's not going to be taking this thing out in one. He does have the Bulldoze, which was probably coverage for the Heatran. I'm not sure what it was going to do to Starmie. I do click the Flamethrower here, which is perfect, exactly what I brought it for. Get nice big damage on the whatever his name is, Ferrothorn, that he probably wasn't expecting, as he gets rocks up in his side, on my side of the field. It doesn't matter, I still have my Spinner on my side of the field, so I can get rid of them at some point. I do switch out here, predicting him to switch out into the Infernape. I expect him to go out into the Infernape because he knows I can't touch Infernape with my Gourgeist. He does withdraw, and he does go out into that Infernape, so that is a very nice read on my part. I'm getting good at these prediction switches. He takes the rocks damage, more important for him than me. I do take a bit of burn damage, but now he has to decide something to take, again, another Analytic Boosted Scald. And his Ferrothorn is quite low already. It's like near enough 50%. He does switch out. Oh, it's like 40% even. So he brings in the Ferrothorn. It takes the rocks damage. It's going to take the Analytic Boosted Scald as well. And it's not going to take it very well despite the resist, because it's Analytic Boosted. I don't get the burn on that one, but I am able to just kill off the Ferrothorn with an Ice Beam here, as that is neutral damage and not resisted. So down goes the Ferrothorn, and Starmie picks up 2 kills. Starmie has done very good so far. Once again, someone who doesn't have a switch-in for Starmie. I'm very impressed with how Starmie's doing this season in terms of where are your switch-ins. He brings in Poseidon now, which is the Gyarados. Gyarados is going to take that rocks damage, which is lovely. It does put him in range of a Hitmonlee close combat, so I just can't let him get to +2. He has to Mega Evolve as per the PPL rules. He can't stay a regular Gyarados for even 1 turn. So I decide to stay in here and just go for a Signal Beam to see what he wants to do. I didn't want him getting a free sub as I switch out. So I went for the Signal Beam to see... Oh, why did my video pause? Oh, there we go. He is the Mold Breaker. I went for the Signal Beam expecting him to maybe go for a sub. I wanted damage off on the Mega Gyarados as well so I can kill him with a Mach Punch. It's going to do decent damage as he does set up that Dragon Dance. So really good I didn't switch out there. I could have switched out into Hitmonlee, which probably would have been a better play, but I just didn't want him going for a sub. So hindsight, going out into Hitmonlee on that turn would have been good, but if he went for a sub, I would have been sad, because Hitmonlee would have had to take huge damage. He does just go for the Crunch though, which takes out the Starmie. Unfortunate, because Starmie was doing a lot in this battle, but I didn't have anyone to switch into Gyarados at that point. I do just go out into the Hitmonlee now to threaten him out. It does pretty much confirm that I have at least Mach Punch to take him out. He does withdraw. I wasn't sure if he was going to withdraw here. I wasn't sure if he was 100% certain that he could outspeed my Hitmonlee with his +1, so I did just go for the close combat in case he did stay in. I don't think I could have afforded to bank on that instead of going for the Poison Jab on the prediction. I do quite a bit of damage to this Granbull, which tells me that he's not fully defensive invested Granbull. He's not fully defensive invested Granbull at all, even with the Intimidate. I've done quite a bit of damage. I do have to switch out here though. I go back out into Blair. Gourgeist is just my answer to Granbull every single time, because I'm just convinced he has nothing for it. He has Natural Gift, he has Natural Gift, he has Play Rough. I don't think he'd have Fire Fang or Ice Fang. He does go for the Play Rough there, and as you can see, it does a fair bit of damage, but it was a crit, so we don't take those. He does get the crit, which is unfortunate, because that does mean I have to Synthesis on this turn, whereas I would have potentially gone for a Will-O-Wisp instead. His Gyarados comes back in and takes some more rocks. Does get the Mold Breaker, doesn't affect my Gourgeist at all. I do Synthesis, and I'm able to stay in on this turn as I'm pretty much brought up near enough to full health, and I know I have the Colbur Berry, so I can take a Crunch. So I can just kill this thing off with a Bullet Seed. He does go for the Crunch, does pop my Colbur Berry. I wasn't saving my Colbur Berry for anything else. Crunch, I'm going to take those because Gourgeist is amazing. Look at her with her purple hair. She is fantastic. Get the Bullet Seed off. Gonna blow those seeds right into his mouth. Yeah, take my seeds. Take my seed. Take it. And down goes the Gyarados to a Gourgeist. Gourgeist got a kill. I bet you didn't think that would happen this season. He does just go out into the Infernape here, knowing I can't do anything. And this was a situation in my mind. He does, so at this point his Pokemon that are left are Infernape, which has taken 2 sets of rock damage. He has a 55%-ish after rocks Granbull with Intimidate, and he has a full health Zygarde. Full health Zygarde 10%. I still have my Gourgeist, my full health Salamence, my full health Weavile, and my pretty much full health Hitmonlee. I thought he would go for I thought he'd go for a Fire Blast here to take out the Gourgeist. Bad play by me. Bad play by me indeed, because he knows that Gourgeist can't touch the Infernape. What I should have done really was leave in my Gourgeist anyway, because even if he did go for Fire Blast, he could knock me out with Fire Blast all he wanted, and then I could just go straight out into Hitmonlee. I could have just gone straight out into Hitmonlee and just gone for a close combat. With the health that Granbull was at, it could have potentially got a 2-hit KO, or I could have made a prediction even and gone for the Poison Jab. He wouldn't have stayed in on Hitmonlee with the Infernape. Definitely wouldn't have stayed in. So I should have just let my Gourgeist go down here, which I didn't. Very bad play from my part. Very, very bad play from my part. I did switch out my Gourgeist. I went out into my Salamence, expecting him to go for the Fire Blast, or, don't know, just Fire Blast. I resisted Fire Blast, I resisted Grass Knot, I resisted the Focus Blast, so I wasn't too scared of anything he could do. But he does have the Hidden Power Ice, and that is going to take out Salamence in one shot, and Salamence done nothing this game at all. So I threw away Salamence for nothing. My best answer to the Zygarde, which is really, really bad. I do go out into my Hitmonlee now, which is what I should have done instead. very bad play from my part, especially since Hitmonlee is actually very specially bulky, like on the Spadef side. People don't realise he does switch out. He does go out into Grand Ball. Again, poor predictions from me. I knew he was going to switch out, but instead I did go for the close combat again. Very bad from me. It was so obvious. I should have just gone for the poison jab. It does a fair bit of damage. I wasn't certain that another close combat could kill him. I wasn't certain after that roll. I'm pretty sure it was a roll. He does, but I pop his Lychee Berry, so now it's a +1 attack Grand Ball, which is really bad. I could have just gone for another close combat and potentially killed him and lost my whatever it's called. Hitmonlee. He does go for the play rough here on my Gourgeist, and because he is +1 from the Lychee Berry, he is able to kill me, which is really bad. I go out into my Hitmonlee here, which was another misplay, so I'm going to pause right here. Another misplay there. I should have gone straight into my Weavile, because Hitmonlee is Scarfed. Weavile is Expert Belt. I should have gone straight into Weavile. I could have clicked Poison Jab, which would have killed the Granbull easily. It would have done damage on Infernape and would have done some damage at least onto the whatever it's called, Zygarde Dog. But instead I went out into Hitmonlee, which was a bad play. I made that turn very quickly, and as soon as I made it I just said to myself, that was wrong. I made that turn too quick. I do go for the close combat though, knowing it's going to knock him out from this range because I'm not -1 anymore. That does lower my defences. Granbull's down, so he's just got the full health Zygarde and the full health, the about 70% health Infernape. He does go out into the Zygarde now. I'm fairly confident that he has extreme speed, otherwise he wouldn't have brought it in like this. Does go for the aura, it has an aura break, doesn't matter at all. I can't leave in my Hitmonlee just because, oh I do, I leave in my Hitmonlee. I can't go out into Weavile because Weavile would have died from the extreme speed after the rocks probably. So Hitmonlee goes down, and at this point I lost pretty much because there's nothing Weavile can do to the Infernape. There's nothing Weavile can do to the Infernape. What I could have potentially done was gone into Weavile, let Weavile go down to the whatever it's called, extreme speed. Actually no, Weavile wouldn't have gone down to the extreme speed. Weavile wouldn't have died to that extreme speed. So I could have let Weavile, I could have brought in Weavile on that extreme speed, taken it. It would have had to go for another extreme speed, then killed me. And then I could have brought in the Hitmonlee, because Hitmonlee with 2 close combats is better than Weavile, who can't do anything to Infernape, which is the situation I'm in now. He does bring in the Infernape. I clicked the Icicle Crash here. No, I clicked the... What did I click? I clicked Poison Jab here, maybe getting a crit poison, and hoping he went for a Focus Blast. Maybe he's going to miss, and if I get a crit poison, then maybe I can win. But he has the Vacuum Wave. So he didn't have Grass Knot on his Infernape at all, which I thought he did, which is one reason why I didn't think he had Hidden Power Ice. And then when he had Hidden Power Ice, I didn't think he had Vacuum Wave because I was certain he had Grass Knot. So we lost 1-0 to Eric. Oh, and that's not me. That's not me. Let me go back to this. There we go. So we lost 1-0 to Eric in a really back and forth game. Very back and forth game. He had all the momentum at the start when he started with Granbull. I had to go into Gourgeist. He got the Infernape in. Infernape done damage to Toad. He was taking down Toad. He had all the momentum in the first half of the game. I completely dominated the mid game. As soon as Starmie came in, took out the Mew. Starmie came back across to take out the Ferrothorn. Gourgeist came in to take out the Gyarados. I completely dominated the mid game. It wasn't even close to mid game, but he dominated the first 5 turns just with his good reads and good switches. And then the end game, I feel like I just kind of threw it away. Yes, me and Eric spoke about it afterwards. There were certain scenarios where, you know, if I brought in Weavile, he could have switched out the Granbull to take the Poison Jab on the Zygarde and then clicked Extreme Speed that way, and he still would have won. But you can't look at games with too much like theorying, because then you end up going insane. It was just a good game. Like I said, Eric taught me a lot in terms of Draft League, and I give him near enough full credit as to why I have good matches now, because this is my best season ever in terms of not only quality of matches but record. Even though I'm 3-2 now, It's still my best season in terms of record for the first 5 weeks, and I've not had a game, or my week 3 game where I missed 2 Hydro Pumps was a bit upsetting, but I didn't play bad. I haven't had one game this season where I've played bad. I've enjoyed every single game, and every single game has been really good, and I put a lot of that down to Eric. So I was really glad I was able to give Eric another good battle, and I'm kind of glad he won as well, because I like Eric a lot. Yeah, I can't say enough about how much that was fun. I could have played that differently, as I was saying during the battle. Could have left in Gorgeist on the Infernape, and then other stuff could have happened, because I feel like Salamence, Weavile and Hitmonlee had enough within them to sweep the rest of the team, pretty much. Yeah, I feel like they had enough in them to sweep the rest of the team. Even if Gorgeist had gone down to Infernape, I could have just brought in Salamence after that, clicked Hidden Power Flying, because I would have outsped anything. Hidden Power Flying would have 2-hit KO'd the Granbull at the range it was at. It would have done damage to the Zygarde, and then I would have done more damage to the Zygarde, because he wouldn't have clicked Extreme Speed then, he would have had to click Outrage, and Hidden Power Flying obviously would have taken out the Infernape. So again, Theory Monin, you end up going insane. But good game to Eric, a lot of fun with that one. We are now 3-2, which puts us pretty much in the middle of the table again, around 7th or 8th out of 12th. But we do have everyone above us to play. Like, everyone who is above us in the table, we still have to face them. So if we beat them, they drop points, we gain points. So we still have every opportunity to finish high up in the table. Thank you guys for watching this battle, though. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you come back next Wednesday, where we take on Onesie Bayonet, Alex, who has beaten us twice. We have only ever played twice. He has beaten me twice. He has a sand team. It's going to be fun, because I've never faced a real sand team before. So, and I'm looking for hardcore revenge on Alex. I have to beat him. I can't let him beat me 3 times in a row. Thank you guys for watching this battle. Hope you enjoyed it. I love you all very much. You all mean the world to me, and you're fantastic people. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. Love you all. Mwah. Kisses. See you all next Wednesday. Take care. Woo. Bye-bye.